Hello, it's Helen at Viva. Just a little bit later than I planned. Son is going to watch my stepdaughter play netball, so I thought I'll just wait till they're all collected and gone, otherwise there'll be lots of noise going on. So how are we this Thursday evening? Another beautiful evening here in Essex. The sun is shining. It's actually been quite hot. I almost thought I might get a suntan sitting out at lunchtime. Did you manage to get out? Got to take advantage of the good weather whilst it's here. So we're Thursday, nearly the weekend, and I thought I would talk about how are you tracking your health and fitness, because we can just plod along, can't we? We can kind of go to the gym, go to the classes, we're keeping fit, great, but then you come away and actually, if you thought about it, what are you doing? What are you achieving? This has been a little bit of the theme this week with some of the other chats. Is there any sort of focus there so you actually can come away, yeah, I nailed that one, did it? So unless you're doing, say, CrossFit and there's a WOD and you can see that, you nail your time or you get all these reps in, it can be quite difficult to sort of see your progress. So I just wondered, what do you do? How do you track your health and fitness? Do you bother? Are you just going to the gym and just plodding along? Because I think you'll find it much more productive, much more rewarding if you have some sort of system in place to help you track your progress. And it doesn't mean that you have to set really difficult goals. It just means that each week, maybe have a focus. So if you're into mind-body movement, if you're into Pilates, yoga, it might be that next week you're going to focus on improving your breathing, getting a deeper breath, or just relaxing better in the movements that you do. So there's a focus for the week. And maybe have a little diary, or in your diary, write down what that focus is. So then you can kind of look back and think, actually, yeah, I did that. Or, there's still room for improvement. Or you can actually then note down, that went really well, so I'm going to make a note of that so I can then remember, if I do it like this with my exercise and fitness, hi Dawn, then there'll be a bit more improvement because I've recognised that went well. So we're talking about how do you track your health and fitness. What have you got in place? What sort of systems to see that you're moving forward and not going backwards with some of your fitness and health goals? Sometimes people use photos. You probably see quite a lot of people film themselves now. And actually, if you can get over feeling uncomfortable being filmed, sometimes it's a really good idea to do that, to sort of see how you move. Because you might be, especially if you're training for yourself, if you're completely oblivious to how your body functions when you do stuff, it could be that you're missing out on much easier movement just because you didn't realise that maybe every time you do a lunge, your knee falls in, or little things like that. So maybe filming is a good way to track your health and fitness. Or if you want, have a mirror. Not everyone wants to stare in front of the mirror. But again, it is important that something in that week, there's progress, and that you've got some idea what you're doing. Measurements. Sometimes people, if weight loss is say part of their goal, or they're wanting to tone up, you could start measuring. You could measure around the thighs, around the arm, around your waist, just to see if what you're doing, if you've decided you're trying to tone up, is it working? I know visually we can see, but maybe if you want to see if your thighs are going down, do a few measurements. You don't have to be like religious about it, but if you just want to check up once a month, am I on target? Am I making progress? What's going on? It's another way of sort of tracking your progress. So we've said that there's filming, there's photos, you could do measurements, and you could buddy up with somebody. Sometimes you kind of need that little extra push, someone who's going to help you be more accountable, that might say, look, you're going to go to the gym. What should we do tonight? What's our focus? Or be a little bit competitive, that's kind of in my nature. Maybe have a little bit of a row off or a bike off or something, just to push yourself a little bit, because your body likes a tiny push each week. It does like to sort of be challenged, and it's capable of being challenged, so don't underestimate how amazing your body is. And then maybe you haven't got a good enough reward scheme in place. I think after each week, you look back, you think, yeah, I nailed that workout, or I felt really good. I didn't feel as tired as I thought I might. Yeah, my fitness is improving. Have a reward system. And don't use food. Food is not a good, or wine, drink, that's not a good reward system. Have a system where you can say, right, yeah, that's good. I'm going to oh, I don't know, this will sound boring. I might go and buy a book, or I'll go and buy a magazine. I'll give myself a time out. So for the next half hour, I'm going to sit, just read this magazine, ignore everybody else. So something that you think, yeah, I deserved that time out. Or maybe you could buy something, but again, I'd stick away from food, just something that you've been it could be a notepad, just a little something to say well done and give yourself a pat on the back. Or if you're working out with your buddy, just give each other a big hug or something and praise each other for what you've achieved. Because, that's half the problem, is we're training, we're trying to be healthy, and all we ever look at is sort of the negative side rather than actually, yeah, I really did do a good job there. So we need to keep that sort of outlook rather than think, oh, I didn't manage to do that. And okay, say if you didn't quite have as good a week as normal, just have a quick reflection on what was different that week, because it could be that maybe you didn't eat the right kind of food to give you energy. Maybe you hadn't had a few bad nights' sleep. Maybe your hormones are in flux. Maybe it's you're due on or you're hitting into menopause. Notice what it is so that you don't beat yourself up and think, well, that was great, I failed there. Get it in proportion. And that's where keeping the sort of diary system is quite good, almost to write things down every day about how things went. And for me, I probably need to do that when my brain has a bit of a memory loss every now and again. So just talking a few tips on tracking your health and fitness progress. Remember that you're in control of everything that you do, so you determine how you're going to move forward, but always be seeking to try and move forward, just to push things a little bit further. And that doesn't mean like go crazy doing lots and lots of HIIT classes. So I've always said have balance. If you're going to do high intensity, you also need to have something lower, something that calms, because you've got your parasympathetic and your sympathetic nervous system, and they need balance. You can't just be an adrenaline junkie the whole time, because your body will probably, when you're hitting your 40s, say, gosh, that was a lot of work, I need a bit of chill out time. And then I would say as well, if you're tracking your progress and with all this kind of fitness and setting goals, you've got to mix with the right kind of people. You've got to keep away from the negative ones and stay with the positive ones that help push you forward. Because it is hard sometimes. There are going to be those weeks where you feel a bit flat, but if you're mixing with the right kind of people, they will help you keep moving forward. So you need that little support team. And I always think, particularly if you've got a really important goal, share it with other people, share it with your friends, your family, so that they don't kind of try and knock you off track. Because sometimes, you're training and then someone says, oh, do you fancy a glass of wine? You think, and maybe you need not to have that sort of put in front of you, so you can keep on track with the goal that you're trying to achieve. So it's just some ideas there. I'd love to hear from you guys what might work for you. I'll probably jot some points down in the comments in the feed so that you can sort of see whether any of these suggestions are helpful. I think, certainly for me, I've kind of plateaued a little bit, so I need to get back into recording, seeing where I'm moving forward. And it's partly because of having injuries, but the injuries are beginning to come back to normal. So my knee is coming back to me. So now I need to make more progress. I mean, it's great. I shouldn't be sort of begrudged. I've actually made progress. The rehab is getting there. But now I need a more specific target. And I think that's what you've got to look at. What would do you good? Is it something for mind-body connection? Is it you want to go and sweat it out? What do you want to do? Do you need to improve how you go up and down the stairs so you're not getting breathless as much? Have a little think and give yourself a weekly target, a weekly goal. And if you know me, come and chat to me. Say hello. So have a great evening. Hopefully you've still got some sun. Get out there, have a little sip, cup of tea, coffee, glass of wine if you want it. And I'll be back on again tomorrow morning. And if you would like to like and share, that would be great. And I'll see you later on. Take care.